Glenn, here's an interesting one. How will data from these systems be monetized?
Obviously, there are examples of this today. There are lots of data businesses out there that people buy things, databases, information on companies. In many respects, if you look back in the history of time, the joking business model I've always described about successful data businesses were those that were essentially a large cover your ass kinds of businesses. So Dun& Bradstreet and credit ratings, lawyers, the way they use and pay for data are good examples of these things, just to prevent downside and risk and so forth. The first step is really to figure out, and I don't mean this from a pure plumbing diagram standpoint, but there are challenges there as well, just simply how people can share and have a more democratized data environment. I think what most businesses don't really understand is that all the data that's required in order to drive value like AI and machine learning and modeling kinds of driven business models will inform is that probably more than half the data they would need access to do all that modeling isn't necessarily going to come from their system per se. And so, I always use the preschool analogy of we share because we care. The interoperability and plumbing issues coupled with just simply the business culture issues of people understanding how to share and leverage that data, we're still in that step. And from a maturation standpoint, monetizing this requires valuation mechanisms. And so, as we've talked about on many occasions, the potential for blockchain or distributed file and ID management systems could go a long way towards organizing the value that the data can have within a shared body of data. I think the ability to have GitHub plus Exchange functionally plus a data value mechanism, all of those are the fundamental elements that are required for real monetization of data, unless you have something like a credit rating or the equivalent of that in terms of data value coming from your own systems and solely thereof. So I think we still have some distance to go in learning how to share and cooperate around the use of data, and then moving on to mechanisms that can actually enable that. I don't think the underlying technical enablement problem is a huge challenge as much as just the business culture and the hurdles that come from me, myself, and I wanting to control my destiny versus us controlling our destinies together and leveraging the value that we can create collectively, not individually.